What's up guys, Nerfman here, back again with a brand spanking new video, and today we're going to be doing our first video in the Kaiju Theory series. Now today's theory is going to be talking about what's going to happen when 2019 and Shin Godzilla 2 are going to be completely released. Now as many of you guys know, 2014 versus Shin Godzilla is nothing new. It is probably one of the biggest staples within this fanbase right now. Reasoning behind that is this because they're two big main things right now, and it's the first time that an American Godzilla film is actually standing up to a Toho Godzilla film. And might I say is actually beating the Toho Godzilla film. Honestly, 2014 ended up being probably one of my favorite Godzilla movies ever. The theater experience I had with that movie is probably one of the best theater experiences I've ever had for any movie of my fucking life. It might also have to do with that Godzilla has just been gone for over 12 years, and it's just finally we're getting a return of Godzilla. But now we're getting so many other things of Godzilla, and with all that other news coming out and Shin Godzilla having all these different clips released and already being released in Japan, it kind of made for a lesser... I didn't have a theater experience with it. I actually ended up watching a rip of it, so it kind of took away from it as well. But with first impressions kind of trying to slide that away from first impressions, I still do believe Shin Godzilla was a lesser and worse film than 2014. Whether that be characters, CGI, although the budget was a lot smaller than 2014, they could have just completely taken out the evolution stage in my mind because it changed too much of the character and just put it all into the final form. Night scenes were amazing. I think that if they would have kept that consistency with the CGI, I would have been more stuck with it and I would have been more excited to see Godzilla. Obviously, I was always excited to see Godzilla on the screen. I was not as hyped up to see Shin Godzilla on the screen as I was for 2014, and Shin Godzilla even had a lesser screen time than 2014, not counting the evolution stages and all this stuff, but I just really don't like the evolution stages of Shin Godzilla, and that's just me, I'm sorry. But whether that be all that stuff, including soundtracks, because Shin Godzilla had a lot of hit or misses for me. I actually I'm not a really huge fan of Persecution of the Masses, and please don't kill me. I'm just not a huge fan of that. I think it's okay. Obviously you have Who Will Know, which is probably my favorite Godzilla, one of my favorite Godzilla songs, and honestly a part of that soundtrack. But I found 2014's soundtrack was just more consistent, and it kept that main theme, which I just really love from the intro. But with that all being said, this is kind of like, that was kind of my first opinion on Shin Godzilla vs. Godzilla 2014, which kind of, if you just look at that, that's an average opinion. If you look at any 2014 supporter or any Shin Godzilla supporter, it will be flipped. They'll like the evolution stages. They'll like that. They'll like all that stuff. In 2014, they'll like just the classic character, the classic keeping, and all that stuff. But with Shin Godzilla 2 in 2019, they're pretty much set to follow the same path, which just brings me to think that it's going to be the same exact outcome. The people who like 2014 will stay with 2019, and the people who like Shin Godzilla 2 will stay with Shin Godzilla 2. The only possible difference in my mind is whatever will be the newer release, because that seemed to me that is just the favor that Shin Godzilla has over 2014, because 2014 is an older film, and people always consider the older films, usually a lot of people, not for all things, but for a lot of people, the newer one's always the better one. And that is just a favorable thing in my opinion. There are a lot of people that prefer classics, but 2014 is not much of a classic. It's a new incarnation, and sometimes a newer incarnation from a classic, like, respected brand like Toho might always have a favor on that end. But obviously with Godzilla 2014 bringing a larger American, a larger, younger, new audience within the fanbase, I know a lot of people that I've met within this fanbase have come in 2014 way, then that also has a favor on that end. They respect the legendary brand more than the Toho brand, and that just goes to show that newer era of Godzilla fans. I personally came in the Showa era, like I wasn't alive then obviously, but that's when I started watching them, so I'm not in favor of Toho just because of that or anything like that. I'm not even in favor of Toho in this newer generation of Godzilla films. It might be different. If Legendaries might end up being the newer Godzilla film, we might see Godzilla 2019 be the overcoming champion with supporters. That is all I'm pretty much predicting here, is whatever will have the more support in the end. Being better is all coming up to you. But in my opinion, they both follow the same film path, where Shin Godzilla is pretty much having all these theories and speculations confirming that Shin Godzilla is going to have this much more different look to him as well, again with the humanoid Godzillas, which I'm not really into. I don't know, I don't think I will get into it, but I'm not going to judge before I see it. I'm just not appealed to it as I'm seeing all these different models and set photos and all that stuff just revealed to me. And if 2019 takes the same path of the classic more look to it, and obviously involving these other classic kaiju, then I'm pretty much falling under 2019's favor at that point. It's kind of weird how Toho is becoming the new, more innovative Godzilla, and 24 and Legendary is becoming the classic, but remaining still kind of new Godzilla. It's kind of funny because it's America and Japan's the originator. I don't know, it's kind of funny. But I'm gonna leave the question up to you guys. Do you guys think 2019 will be better than Shin Godzilla? And if you want to add more input, do you think that 2019 will overcome Shin Godzilla in a fan standpoint if it wins it over with all these new classic kaiju? That's also something to put in as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a nice day.